welcome up on stage our moderator. We have Mr. Prateek Pashine, the Chief Enterprise Business Officer of Maxis. Our speakers, Noorzita Binti Mohamad Nor, the Malaysian Investment Development Authority from MIDA. Puan Rosita is a Director of Business Services and Regional Operations Division. And Puan Noorzita's department is responsible for evaluating tax incentive applications, monitoring projects, engaging the industry, and assisting investors to enhance Malaysia's industrial ecosystem. And joining them up on stage, we have James Zhang from Huawei APAC ICT. James currently spearheads the marketing efforts for Huawei in the Asia-Pacific region, and Huawei is a prominent global leader in information and communications technology of infrastructure. And last but not least, we have Chuah Koon Ji from Tiong Logistics Holdings Berhad. Mr. Chuah is the IT Director with Tiong Logistics. Tiong Logistics is one of the largest total logistics service providers in the Asia-Pacific region. All right, so over to you, Mr. Prateek.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. I know just before the session started, it rained, and we were wondering whether we will have a full turnout, but it looks like all tables are full, so thank you. We know it's busy time for most companies. The year is closing the year on a high note, creating the plans for the next year. So thank you all for coming here. I had a lot to ask and say, but I think Dato' Hannah has done pretty much the entire job for all of us. So thank you, Dato' Hannah, for sharing insightful information. And I think she covered almost all topics, from talent to trials to technology. I think it was her talk was laced with almost all aspects of what probably we're going to talk about. We have a very, what I would say, a diverse panelist here, and I think that's to kind of do justice to the difficult topic of how do companies go about adopting technology. And we have Puan Noorzita. Her agency is responsible, MIDA is responsible for making sure that their investment happens, the environment is conducive to investments, businesses flourishing in Malaysia. So she and her agency plays a very pivotal role in modernization, in investments, in expansion of business. James from Huawei, I think Huawei needs no introduction, a technology powerhouse out of China. And if any one of you are visiting Shenzhen, I would urge you, it doesn't matter which industry you are part of, I would urge you to spend half a day with the Huawei Experience Center. They have real life cases of how industries, businesses, including agriculture, have been transformed using technology. So thanks, James, for coming here. Tiong is, again, needs no introduction. Chuah heads the IT practice for Tiong. And I don't know whether you're aware, Malaysia's logistics is only 4% of the GDP. A typical norm for a country for logistics is about 8 to 10%. Logistics should contribute about 8 to 10% to the GDP of the country. It's only 4%, which means Tiong is in the right business because the business is only going to grow as more logistic infrastructure comes here with the growth in trade, growth in business. So we've got a good panel here. Before I dive into the questions, I heard Anna talk about I'm only a durian planter, or I'm only a... So it reminded me of a phrase. One of the gentlemen, he was a leader. He used to head ING Bank. Any of you know ING Bank? Yeah? So ING Bank is a big European bank. And in 2018, their CEO, Ralph Hammers, said, I'm in the business of technology with a banking license. And I think that sums it all up. We are all in the business of technology with expertise in something. So just like ING Bank is in the business of, is a technology company with business, with investments in banking, I think all of us, each company today is a technology company with expertise in a particular area. And I think that's the power of technology. So before we get to talking about technology, there's a first question, audience poll. So please take out your QR codes and phones. The question is, are we going to play that? In your opinion, to reinvent your business, which of the following factors is the most influential in ensuring a successful digital transformation? Leadership commitment, trusted partners, talent, and willingness to experiment. Yeah.
My apologies for interrupting, but ladies and gentlemen, before you answer the poll, well, you have to scan the QR code once again, or perhaps use the link that you used at the start of our event with the same code at the top, which is 42975555. And of course, you could answer the two questions. Thank you, Mr. Prateek.
So by the look of what we see, they're all important, and that's what I know it's difficult for any one of us to choose one or the other, because each of these play a very, very important role in transforming business and reinventing the business. So thank you for the responses. Before we go to the next poll, we'll get to some deep dives with each of our panel members. James, thank you for coming. What would your advice be for businesses who are trying to reinvent their business? How could 5G and other technologies help in reinventing that business for them? What would be your words of advice?
Okay, okay, this works. Okay, first of all, thanks for Mr. Patrick, and thanks for Maxis. I, as maybe the only person coming from China, so actually before the presentation introduced a lot about talking about China, and I actually personally I like eat the rain. I like eat the rain, but today coming here is coming for 5G. So maybe first of all, please allow me to have a introduction of what is 5G Advanced. So maybe because 5G, maybe you heard this name, but 5G Advanced, what is that? So 5G Advanced is defined by the standard organization of the telecom industry, 3GPP, and is at the advanced stage of the 5G development, and it can provide more capability. For example, it improves the uplink from the 100 megabits per second to 1 megabits per second, and it improves the downlink from the 1 megabits per second 1 gigabits per second to 10 gigabits per second. So that means it's increase and enhance the speed of the networking capability 10 times. It's not only increase of the speed, but also reduce the latency. You know, the latency in the future of the AI later on I will introduce some scenarios. It will be much more important, and it's reduced the latency from the 10 milliseconds of the air interface to 1 milliseconds. So it's reduced the latency by 10 times as well. Certainly, as a 5G advanced is also introduced some new features, new capabilities, such as centimeter positioning. Positioning maybe in the warehousing is very important. And also of the passive IoT. Currently the IoT, you need a sensor, you need a battery, but passive IoT, just like the card, you swipe your room in the hotel, it's just no need battery. And also as autonomous driving by using the AI for the network, autonomous management by themselves. So this is roughly introduced about 5G.5. Is its full name, 5G Advanced.
No, and thanks, James, for that. When Dato Anna talked about Industry 4.0, elements of Industry 4.0 get realized, automation get realized, robotic arms, cobots, where robots work in tandem with each other, get realized through the 5G Advance. Thank you for that, and we'll talk more about how some of these use cases can apply in manufacturing, in logistics and warehouse. So there are different use cases how it can be used. Puan Noorzita, Malaysian government has been investing in through the MIDA, of course, in various programs, initiatives to kind of foster business environment in Malaysia. You keep interacting with many companies. One of the grantees were Hernan. What would be your advice to companies here, the entrepreneurs here, of how should they go about digital transformation? What would be your advice?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Prateek, and thank you to the staff inviting me. Actually, this topic is very blending to me, because before I joined this division, I was in machinery division, where I facilitate those companies to embark into a digital transformation, especially during the time that we are promoting the domestic investment strategic fund for the company to upgrade themselves and to penetrate a new market. Okay, to me, what you need to do is actually for my advice, personal advice, actually, when you like to start your digital transformation, actually what the company need to do is actually to identify your problem statement in your processes. It doesn't mean that you need to start everything at one time. The most important, you identify your problem statement and then you fix it one by one. So actually, and then when you like to do this, you need your leadership. I mean, the leadership is important, because the leadership will inspire those teams to embark into that journey. Plus, you need to have the talent and as well as the resources. Okay, through that, okay, MIDA playing a vital role in terms of, advising the government to provide the ecosystem and also the strategy and policy to the investor friendly. So where we are introducing the national NNIP 2030, where this is a mission-based strategy, where one of the mission is actually take up a digital vibrant, where under that mission, we would like to to the industry itself, continue to adopt the technology, high technology, to innovate and also improve their processes and penetrate the new market and also react to the market demands. Okay, under that mission, particular mission also, the digital investment, including the data center, actually is one of the crucial or the backbone to this NNIP 2030, because this will helping the businesses to get the technology. Because, and also this NNIP 2030 and under this mission too also, it will complement the IR 4.0 policy, where this policy also encourage the company or businesses to get into the artificial intelligence, cloud computing, robotic and automation, as well as additive manufacturing. Thank Thank you.
No, so thank you. And I think you said it right, Puan Noorzita. I think it's important to identify, it's not doing digital for the sake of doing digital.
Yep.
It's identifying a problem and knowing what are you trying to solve. And I think that's the most important. And I think every aspect of the business can be digitalized for some benefit. But it's important to know which will give the maximum benefit first and solve that first before moving on to others. And in my own experience, what I've seen is people learn from their peers. So if there's another company which is into agriculture, which is into durian farming, they would have learned from what Dato' Ana is doing. And I think that peer engagement is also, I think, something which MIDA enables to kind of, for entrepreneurs to interact with each other, to learn. Because I think there's nothing like shared learning. Because everyone's trying for the first time, making mistakes. I think Dato' Ana's speech was all about failures and how she's kept on. So you're going to make mistakes, but you cannot stop trying. So thank you. Moving on, one of the biggest growth areas in terms of spend is in the logistics, and needless. I mean, there's no marks for getting it right, because the entire value chain, you want to know the product's been shipped, the product's been has arrived at the warehouse, the product's now being delivered. Technology adoption in logistics is a significant investment. Since Tiong has always been at the forefront of adopting technology, investing in digital transformation, what are some of the highlights of your transformation journey, and what were some of the challenges that you faced, Chuah, in this journey?
Good evening, all. Thank you for having me. Good evening, Prateek and my fellow speakers. Okay, now with all those points that's listed, in my opinions, they are all equally important. Yeah, because from what we have went through, I cannot do without any of this that you have mentioned in these points. But for me, before you embark on digital transformation, I think it's good to define the purpose in the context of your organization. What does it mean? Yeah, it's good that you should align with your stakeholders. What are the new visions? What are the new roadmaps you want to achieve? Okay, and then I think it's good to set some goals. You know, what exactly you want to achieve. For instance, what are the specific areas that you want to improve on by doing this, embark on this digital transformation journey? Metrics to achieve. I think it's good to set some KPI. I mean, quantifiable KPI. At least later on you can actually, okay, did I meet my objective or not? So this is what I want to share. Thank you.
And what were some of the challenges that Tiong faced in this journey?
Many. Many.
No, and I think
it's a bumpy road, yes.
Sorry?
It's quite a bumpy road, yes.
So, any nuggets of wisdom that you would want to share, what to watch out for when you're doing digital transformation for to other companies? What should they watch out for?
Well, I think these few points that's mentioned are quite key, in fact. You know, capabilities, team capabilities, what you want to achieve, harmonizing processes, practices, and all this, I think is all very important. It's a lot more than that. Yeah, and then availability of resources is one thing, because we have an office in JB and we have a Singapore issues. Yeah, Shah Alam's has different issues, but anyway, we have to manage that.
Thank you. You know, little before when Dato was talking about, she talked about partners, vendors, and how partners, vendors could take you to the garden path, promise you the moon. But in this journey, and I think what Dato says is echoed by every businessman, right? The business says, I'm in the business of logistics. I'm in the business of farming. I'm in the business of manufacturing. How would I know what is the right technology, what is the right mix? And I think businesses do need a trusted partner, partner who can help realize digital dreams. So that brings me to my next question, and I hope we've got the right poll, which is about what do you look for when evaluating potential partners? Do you look for proven expertise and track record? Do you look for comprehensive service offerings with end-to-end support? Or do you look for people who can provide customized solutions rather than one size fits all? Can we get to the poll, please? Quite evenly matched. End-to-end support, I think probably no. Proven expertise and track record, yes. You want to work with somebody who knows it, who's not using you as a guinea pig. So makes sense. I think they're equally placed. So I think not much can be read out of a 4.1, 4.3, 4.4. So I think equally important. But I think Dato made one very important point, which is saying, do they understand my business? And I think that's one of the key aspects of any partner. Can they talk your language? Can they talk the language of your business? Because only that partner who understands your business equally, who's worked with similar such companies in the past, can truly add value. Otherwise, it would be a button that you try pressing but nothing comes out, right? So partners are very crucial, but the right partner selection is even more crucial. Moving on, I heard about talent, right? And if you go to any government website, announcements, minister's speech, it's all talking about shortage of talent. And I think we feel it at our micro level in a company, but at a macro level from Malaysia as well, we have a huge deficit. For example, I'm told there's one number which our Minister for Digital spoke recently, that Malaysia needs 25,000 cybersecurity experts. Professionals, let me not say experts, 25,000 cybersecurity professionals. We have half of that. So where's the other half going to come from? And I think that's the similar number I heard was that Malaysia would need in few years 86,000 AI engineers. So talent deficit is something that has plagued most businesses in truly realizing their dream. So I would like to kind of move to that question to all of you. What strategies can companies, MIDA, Huawei or Tiong adopt or advise to our colleagues out here? What could they do to bridge this digital gap, to narrow this divide? One, Noorzita?
Okay, I will say. Okay, this is, MIDA very sensitive about the talent issue in the industry itself. So playing with that, listening to that, we have a various program. I think if the industry here, industry member here having problem, please come to MIDA. We have a dedicated division called Talent Development Division, where the task is actually to fill in the gap between the supply and also the demand. Okay, so we are conducting a various program, including the open interview together with the stakeholders, meaning the company, and even we are also provide the internship, link the internship program, provide the candidates to the companies, and then they let them to evaluate. Besides that, we are also establishing a task force, where we call the Special Task Force Talent Facilitation in 2023, where involving of 17 university and technical institute, actually to address the issue. We bring the issue from the industry to this university. So for them to prepare the right talent and also as well as serve this industry need. Besides that, recently we also signed an MOU with the Ministry of Higher Education. This is also how we facilitate the talent requirement from the industry, especially in digital, especially in the AI and also robotic and electrical and electronics. Besides that also, MIDA also signed an MOU with MTUN, where the technical, to enhance the technical and vocational education. Also because one of the key important talent that required by the industry.
And Chuah, but what's Tiong doing to bridge this talent divide?
Okay. Now, I'm just going to put it bluntly. So, set aside salary, set aside perks, set aside benefits. I think if the employee or the staff, he or she is able to feel that, hey, look, there is something worth for me to stay on in this company because I have something new to learn and it's valuable to me. And it could be technology, it could be processes, it could be way of doing things. And it would really help, you have a coach that basically handhold and pointed out, this is how you do things. And you let the person see this is the whole cycle of doing things from end to end, and that they will really appreciate. But of course, time to time, some skill trainings, some special skill training on some specific technology, that would be great. And even better if you can do certifications. That's my sharing. Thank you.
James?
I have two maybe suggestions. As the development of the accelerating of the digital transformation, I think to development robust digital talent pool is becoming crucial. But I think a company or a corporation that when you thinking about the talent, you should not only focus on to how to not only keep the pace on the update new technology advancement, but also should be focused on to further culture that you ask your organization keep learning and to adaptability, and also should be equipped you essential skills to your employees. And second point of view is I think for the development of the talent, it should be differentiation by the group. Maybe for the leadership, the management execution level, you should focus on digital leadership. And the second is for some new employee, you should focus on know-how and hands-on ability. And if you, for example, the vocational workers, you should focus on practice and skills. So it should be differentiation. Thank you.
No, and I think one of the things you mentioned, James, about digital leadership. In this digital journey, I think the first place where the learning and skilling needs to happen is at the leadership level. Because typically what tends to happen is the leaders are in their 40s or 50s. And I think everyone would accept that our kids are far more digitally savvy than us. And that means that the kid who's joining workforce at 22 is likely to be far more digitally savvy than the leader. And in that environment, how do you foster learning? I know of one company which did this brilliantly across the globe. That's a company called Nestle, which did reverse mentoring. And that is that the youngsters teach leaders on digital tools and making them digitally savvy. And I think it's equally important because if we have to embrace digital, it has to start right at the top. So while yes, we have to fill the talent gap in cybersecurity, in AI, that can only happen if we foster an environment of learning, environment of skilling, and that needs to begin right at the top. So that's just a question for all of you to think about. How many of you are getting reverse mentored by your young colleagues on new technologies and how to use, how to create a Hari Raya greeting from AI tool, how to create a birthday greeting from AI tool, how to write a speech for a event? Are you learning from somebody? And I think that's going to be a very, very important aspect. The learning has to begin in this room first before it kind of gets out. So with that, I'm going to come to possibly my last question, and this is again going to involve all of you. And that is, each one of us, I would like you to give one word of advice to all of us if we have to digitally transform our companies, our businesses, our departments, our functions. What would that one word of advice be? I'll come to the panelists later, but I would like to kind of see the word cloud developing here. Courage, guts, resilience, perseverance, determination, agility, speed, patience, change, mindset, teamwork, restless, never settle, why not, attitude. Interesting. Noorzita, if you to pick, it doesn't have to, you don't have to pick any one of these, it could be your own. What would that be and why?
To me, okay, the most important thing is your leadership, okay? And then, because the leadership will determine what you want to do for that particular organization to achieve their goals. So in that, so I would like to encourage those leaders who like to embark into the digitalization journey, please reach out to MIDA. We have some sort like facilitation, and throughout our expertise previously when we are facilitating the Industry 4.0, automation, and now towards the AI and also and the cloud computing, everything. So we have expert in MIDA to facilitate and advise you accordingly. And even we can also connect you with the potential supplier who can also helping you to start your digitalization journey. And you also can reach out through us to the incentive that provided by the government, even though not largely as before, but we have something that also can further discuss and also reducing your costs. When you like to start your digitalization journey.
Thank you. James? One word. One word of advice and why?
Okay, one word is CBA. I need two explanation. CBA. CBA. Because I saw so many words in the screen here, and it's inspiring me. I thinking about CBA explanation. So I think there is a misconception. I often have a misconception when we talking about digital transformation. Huawei itself also do digital transformation. So I think most of we have a misconception is we're talking digital transformation, we will thinking architecture like ABC. What does it mean ABC? ABC means you're thinking about AI, big data, cloud computing, but you will more focus on the technology itself. This is at starting all our enterprise or our Huawei itself, when he do digital transformation, he think must use the latest technology. But I would like to say it should be CBA. CBA means that customer-centric. So at the beginning, you should thinking about what's your customer pinpoint, what's your customers want, and this is a C. And secondly is business oriented. Business oriented, you must, in return to the essential of your business, you must thinking of the underlying logic. What's your business? How you earn money? This is the second. Last but least is the A is the architecture. Architecture means that you should have a clear architecture of your technologies, human resources, organization, etc. So to sum up, I mean that you move your return back to your essential of your business itself, not only focus on the new technologies that will be more successful for your digital transformation.
Thank you. Sure. One word?
I have a few words. I would say you need to set out a strategic vision from your organization. What is it? Okay. Talent capabilities, for sure. You need to assess your technology assets. Are they still valid or not to go where you want to go? You need to set out some success metrics as well. For instance, usability adoptions by your user, productivity, revenue that you're looking for, and so forth. And cultural transformation. Okay, so is your employee, your staff, all ready to go where you set out to go or not? Because nobody like change. That is natural. So you need to make that statement or objective clear to them. This is where we're going. Please do it with me, something like that. So this, I think these are a few things.
Thank you. And the intent was to try to put you on a spot, all of you, to choose one word. One word can never do justice to such a big problem or an opportunity, or as Datana says, the journey. It needs all of these components, and all of these components to weave together. You have leadership, but you don't have the talent, it would fail. You have the leadership, but you don't choose the right partner, it would fail. So yes, it is about leadership. It is about choosing the right set of partners, knowing the purpose, why you're trying to solve this, equally important. Do you have talent in-house to make this happen? Do you have the right levers and measurement, KPIs, to kind of drive this agenda? So I think it is not a simple topic. If it was, Dato Anna's speech wouldn't have been replete with examples of failure and failure and failure. But I think that's what it's about: willingness to try, daring to experiment, committing to it, because realizing that a 1 billion opportunity can be realized by adoption of technology, by differentiating. That same durian which sells at 60 ringgit here sells at 400 ringgit. That's the value add that one can bring about by use of technology. So I think there's been no better example than this to kind of understand the power digital transformation can help businesses in growing their business, in putting Malaysia on the durian global map, or it could be putting the manufacturing facility, the warehousing facilities on the world map. So thank you very much. Thank you, audience and all our attendees, for being a big sport, responding. This all would help us in kind of, distilling it and communicating to other colleagues who may not have attended this as to what business leaders here think about the journey of digital transformation. So thank you very much, and thank you all for the splendid participation.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Prateek, for moderating the session, and of course to our esteemed speakers as well. And now, moving forward, I would like to invite Dato' Anna up on stage to join us for a photography session, as well as the presentation of the token of appreciation.